Hi, this is George Alger, and welcome to today's segment of Our Ventura TV. Today we're going to be talking about the Ventura County real estate market. And today's expert is David Bartels, who owns 2 real estate companies. Welcome, David.
Hi, thank you.
Could you give us a little thumbnail sketch of these companies?
Well, I have 2 companies, and one is called Home Loan Advocates, which is a distressed property company. It's the largest short sale negotiation company in the world, so we help homeowners that are facing foreclosures or in some sort of distress. And then I have Help You Sell Conejo Valley, which is a full-service real estate agency that does everything ordinary full-fee real estate agents do. We just charge less than a typical traditional real estate agent would do.
Okay, thank you, David. So let's dive right into this topic. So what is the most pressing question that you get asked about real estate in this area?
Well, the question I get asked a lot is, now a good time to sell? People really want me to pull my crystal ball out and see if we can help them figure out whether or not we should sell now. Is there going to be a drop in the market like there was a few years back, or is it going to continue to rise? And there are lots of opinions around which direction we're going.
Okay, so obviously you don't have a crystal ball,
No.
but nevertheless, people do look at you as a professional. So do you not prefer to state an opinion?
No, I offer an opinion all the time, and it really depends on a lot of factors. I mean, we spend a lot of time in the marketplace really trying to help homeowners who are selling their house get the highest possible price and the lowest possible expenses. So the timing really does matter. So overall, if you take a look at the overall metrics of the marketplace, you'll note that inventory is really, really low. So from a inventory perspective, we have about 3 months supply on the market left. So that's one of the lowest in history in terms of supply. Yet houses are sitting on the market for an extra long time, in 80, 85, 90 days, depending on the price range, because there's a disconnect between the inventory and the days on market. So we're seeing some uniqueness in the market where higher end houses that have a tendency to be a little overpriced are sitting on the market, and buyers aren't chasing it like they used to, while lower price inventory that's properly priced are selling in 2-3 days with multiple offers. So there's a big disparity in the market. So depending on what the objectives are, now is as good a time as any, because in spite of that, prices still are climbing up slightly, 3, 4, 5% a year.
Okay, so it's still heated up, but that's not true across the country. Is that the case?
It's not true across the country.
All right. Is it even true across all of Southern California?
Yeah, Southern California is very similar to what we're seeing here in Ventura County. It's been a seller's market for a long time because of the low inventory, and there's been more buyers in the marketplace than there have been sellers, even though buyers have not been willing to chase higher priced, properties. But for instance, in Los Angeles County, we're seeing, where we do some transactions in Woodland Hills and the San Fernando Valley, we're seeing that it's already shifting more towards a buyer's market, where there's a lot more inventory now on the market and fewer buyers. And we're seeing that shift in Ventura County, and we're not sure if it's just seasonal because it's just the time of the year and people are waiting for the spring, market season to hit up, or it's a longer term trend than that.
Okay, now of course we do have building that's occurring in Ventura County, and have for some number of years. They're still not building enough. That seemed to be the case?
They're not building enough, and the cities in Ventura County have really done a good job of controlling growth. And most of the new construction that we're seeing in the market have a tendency to be multifamily, and they're going to be lower end pricing. And that's really the hottest segment of our market right now. And I think that what's been missing in Ventura County in terms of supply and demand is this millennial, the mysterious millennial, buyers in the marketplace who are postponing marriage for 6 or 7 years, and postponing getting a real job for 6 or 7 years, and postponing moving out of their parents' house for 6 or 7 years. And we're just starting to see those 28, 30, 32-year-olds that are really starting to enter the marketplace with their parents' help, who finally want them out of the house. And they're beginning to come into the marketplace, but it's slower here in California because we're trying to get them into entry-level homes that are $500,000, where in other parts of the country, you know, a $200,000 entry point is a much easier for a millennial to get to, and we're just now starting to see that activity, and that's one of the reasons why that lower end of our market range, we have an average sale price in about $650 here in Ventura County, $650,000, I should say. So when you get into 500, 400, even low to mid 500,000, you're seeing a lot more demand than supply, and that's where we're seeing the multiple offers above asking price now.
All right, so that seems to imply that if a millennial is making a first home purchase, they must be getting help from the parents. Is that pretty predominant?
Well, in a lot of cases, I mean, there's still programs out there that are available for first-time home buyers. You know, FHA continues to relax their lending standards. So today you can get a FHA mortgage on a $500,000 house with 3.5% down. So it doesn't require a lot of cash in order to get it. I think the big myth that we see in Ventura County or Southern California real estate is that people are under the impression that since the market crashed that you have to have 20% down in order to buy a house, and that's just not true. There are a lot of programs out there with 3%, 3.5%, 5%, 10%. Down for people who are willing to go to work. There are even tax credits that are available from the state of California that certain certified lenders have available through a program called CalHAFA, and then there's also down payment assistance programs. So there's help in the marketplace for people who qualify.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, I am not one who is very tuned into the real estate market, so I am sincerely not trying to suggest I have an opinion, all right? But I do have another friend who thought that the market was a little too hot right now. Yeah. Is there any possibility of a truth in that?
Well, the market is hot. Again, it depends on your perspective. If you just look at a really small segment of the marketplace and you hit the right segment, you're going to have the perception that it's really hot. So like the example of $500,000 house, we did the transaction recently where we had a $500,000 house that had 9 offers in 4 days, and we ended up selling it for $537,000. So somebody who was, you know, looking at that transaction could easily come to the conclusion that, you know, that it might be a little overpriced, and how can that happen? The reality of the matter is that there are other parts of the market where you have houses that may sit on the market for months and months and months without getting an offer. So I think that in this market, one of the things that is obvious to me is that price really matters. So what we're seeing is if you overprice a house in this marketplace, if you're a seller and you overprice a house, it's going to sit on the market with limited traffic in terms of showings and even fewer offers. But if you underprice a house in the marketplace, what's going to happen is you're going to sell it in a few days with multiple offers over asking price, because you can't underprice a house in this marketplace because the market will bid it up to whatever the market value should be. But if you overprice it for some reason, buyers sniff you out and they just stay away.
Okay. I'd like to come back just a little bit to this point on the down payment, because that is new news to me. I did have an impression myself that a 20% down payment was still necessary. So you mentioned some of these programs that are available, but for a viewer who may or may not be new, there just might be someone who's looking at moving or buying a first-time house. Are these kind of programs available to a majority of buyers, or would you say it's at least less than 0.5% of the, or less than 50% of the people?
Well, they're available to almost everybody who's looking to buy a house that's priced under $629,000. So that's where the FHA limits are in that range, and they adjust up or down a little bit based on market conditions, and they've been about the same for the last couple of years. So they're available almost to everybody who wants one. Even the first-time home buyer, people say, well, I owned a house. There's a huge segment of the market who went through a foreclosure or a short sale, and even those people are able to come back now and are buying again because they've outrun their short sale from 2 years or 3 years ago, and there are special programs now that are being designed in order to assist them. So there's typically a program for everybody who has taken care of the rest of their credit. Okay, you can't, if you went delinquent on everything and you had a short sale and it's 2 years, you're probably still not going to qualify. But if everything else had remained relatively clean from a credit perspective, then you're going to be eligible for a wide number of programs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I'm to summate some of what you're saying, the highest prices are struggling. The houses that are under 629, under 500,000 are moving pretty quickly.
Very fast, yeah.
Okay. So what does that mean for someone who is thinking, or at least entertaining the possibility of selling or buying right now? Is this something that they should do quicker because of the market in that area, or something that you think may slow down or is going to speed up? What is your, so I know it's an opinion.
Well, I think that we're going to see both a slowdown and a speed up. So the way that our market cycle works is that in the fourth quarter, you know, when you get into the fall quarters, well, you see a pullback. So as people, we start to see a pullback about a couple of weeks before Labor Day, as people start to transition from summer to school, and those kinds, so families are getting into school. And then after Labor Day, we see a big pop in activity, and then that continues until about the end of October. In fact, October is one of our most productive months in terms of closing. It's our #1 month. That might surprise some people that October is such a busy period. And then you get into the holiday months of November and December, and a lot of people just don't want to hassle with buying or selling a house for that matter. So we see a slowdown in activity, which takes a little pressure off the market, which causes market values to dip a little bit. And then about the second week of January, it really starts to take off again. And then it builds and builds and builds as families are looking to make a transition over the summer. And then it has some crescendo in July. And then the cycle basically starts all over again. And so there are generally two really hot times of the year to sell. One is right in August, September, time frame, and the other one is in the spring, March, April, May, with closings in June and July, which is really important for families who are transitioning kids where they're concerned about disrupting their school year.
Good. So Dave, we're just about out of time.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you could provide a website that viewers could go to for more information, and if there's a summating message you'd like to convey to the viewers. Well,
I'd love to give my website. It's Help You Sell CV. So, and Help You Sell spelled with a U. So it's HELPUSELLC for ConejosValley.com. And there's lots of information that people can get. And in summation, for people who might be interested in buying or selling a house, the most important thing for them is to find a professional that they can work with to answer their very specific questions, because everybody's needs are different, basically. And so they want to sit down with somebody that they trust and get all their questions answered and get all the information to figure out whether or not the time to buy or sell is right now, and then make sure if they have all the right information, I think they're going to be fine whether or not they act now or they act later.
David, thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is George Alger signing off for this segment of Our Ventura TV. Until I meet again.